everybody. We are live. Yes, it is yours truly. This is the anniversary show. We are back. I'm back, Riley, from Florida. It's been a great trip, but there's nothing better. Nothing better. Whose phone is that? Mine.
That's yours.
Oh, there you go. So there's nothing better than being in a jacuzzi loaded with men.
All right, that's it. Stop.
Why, Mike?
No. You're not going to do this. We have guests. You are not going to do this in front of our guests. It's bad enough they got to listen to it every Sunday. That's number one. Number two, get that shirt off before you jinx the team. Where are your Mets colors?
You want my shirt to come off? I'll take more than that.
Well, no, for our viewers' sake, no, I don't want that.
All right.
I guess we'll leave it.
We want to keep viewers.
Okay, but
All right, I'll turn this.
I'll tell you what.
I'll turn this into Blue Oyster real fast.
It'll be blue something. But anyway,
Yeah.
let's introduce our guest at least.
Yes. Well, I'm trying to get there, but I'm very aroused. So
Oh,
here we are. We got the Solar Squad in here. We got the Pass and Av guys. We got Joe Sullivan. We got Joe Marks, the Hammer. We got James Sorza.
Yeah, man.
And of course, producing my good buddy, the guy who got me into this whole game on the anniversary show of all things. So my man Tom Kelly, what's up, buddy?
What's up?
Oh, so it's your fault, Tom.
And I was just about to apologize to everybody.
Jesus.
Yes, this is a loaded show. And of course, we're sitting by ringside of our manager, Dave Arnold. What's up, Dave?
What's up, guys? What's going on?
That's enough talk out of you.
Oh, that's messed up. Put him in the bathroom.
Put him in the house.
Don't treat him like Paul Heyman, all right?
That's my guy.
I'm going to Matty D's office.
Don't treat him like Paul Heyman. It's
Yes.
okay.
Yes, my
don't
man
do
Dave.
that.
Me and Dave were hanging out last night on the Steel Step podcast talking some wrestling. But anyway, we're not here to talk wrestling. We're here to talk about, guys. Like I said, this is the anniversary show. What brought you to Deveroux Sports? And again, first of all, I got to thank Marks, James and Tom here for you guys give me the doorstep, if you will, to all this podcasting game. So if it wasn't for you guys, I don't know what I would be doing, because they wouldn't be doing this. So, of course, Tom, thank you so much for introducing me to
Oh, hell yeah.
yeah. So Tom, thank you so much for enlightening me. So, I mean, like I said, guys, what's it mean to you for podcasts in general? So, Joe, I'll go to you first. So, what's it mean for putting on with me for 5 years?
Which Joe?
You, Mark.
Yeah,
There's
okay.
two Joes
Joe
on
Marks.
here.
The Hammer. I'll go Hammer.
Okay. Putting up with you, it's been a challenge at times, but I mean, listen, you're a great guy.
Yeah.
You are, you know your stuff, and you bring the heat.
And you show your stuff.
Yeah, well, that's it.
Unfortunately.
Too much. But I mean, look, I appreciate a guy who's willing to stand his ground and kind of fight for what he believes in, and you've proven that on more than one occasion.
Yeah, I do. And like I said, to James, like I said, I've been wrong with you now for quite some time. You and I made some trips to the past FNX, rolling around, us rolling around in Tom's pickup truck at 11 o'clock at night, looking at, going through Wawa's and all those other times. So, guys.
I heard pickup truck and rolling around, so I'm not sure where this is going.
I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole.
Oh, well, it's always
Good for him. He only has a 2.
Oh, hello. So James, what's it mean for you, buddy?
Yeah, I gotta say it's been an honor to be working with you for the last 5 years.
You're one of the first people I ever said that. I'm blessed.
Yeah, and I gotta be honest. It's
He's
we
been
both
practicing his lying.
And the other thing, the other thing too is about that, like, we both agreed that on same sports. I mean, we both agreed that the Flyers really need to change it up. Same with all the other stuff. But no, but I gotta say it's a real honor to say happy anniversary to you guys. And
Absolutely.
and it's an honor to say I've been able to work with probably the best in the business right here.
Oh, my man. Thanks. Oh, easy. So of course I gotta get to the ring general himself, the guy who got me into all this mayhem and all that stuff. Tom, what's it been for you, buddy?
It's been a blast, man. We Pat and I are checks and balances a lot of times when we bounce stuff off each other. But that day at FanFest, you were the first person that ever recognized me because of a podcast.
Right.
And you were like Tom Kelly, Patterson F Fanatics. And I got to admit, I shot my red rocket into the sky that day.
Yes.
as you like to say. Just look, somebody recognizing you for doing something that you love to do. I mean, 5 years ago, we wouldn't have thought we'd be sitting here, all a part of the same network.
Mhm.
You with you guys with your shows, us with our shows, and look at where we're at now.
Yeah.
James and I were sitting here the other night, and for Bird's IQ, he was shadowing me for producing. I looked at him. I was like, "Dude, we've come a long way in 5 years, and
Yeah,
that
we
goes
have.
for all of us. We've all come a
Yeah.
long way in 5 years, man. And it's always been a blast, Pat.
It doesn't even feel like it's 5 years. Gonna admit.
No,
No.
it's
And
Well,
look, like I said, I met you down at Fan Fest, and we were hanging out, and like I said, I noticed you from your promos and all that stuff, talking about the guests that you're bringing on. I said, wow, this dude's for real. And when I saw you, I said, this is Tom Kelly. So and you let me to come on to the podcast down Wildfire. I said, this is great. So when I became a member of the Past Nav, I was more than thrilled and an honor. So, like I said, this has been a good ride for all of us, and we enjoyed it. And then, of course, I brought in my guys here, and Joe, same thing with you, buddy. You've been my 1A carrying the Soy Squad, and actually, it's the anniversary because we made the move to Mondays for the Soy Squad. So, what's it been like for you, my friend?
No, I mean, it's great. First off, I mean, I've loved sports my whole life and I love talking sports. And, I've been in it for about 2 years myself. I got into it because of you and your brother and Lee,
Right.
and, honestly, I never really heard a sports podcast until 2 years ago.
Right.
And as soon as I started doing it, I mean, I really, it's something I look forward to every week.
Right.
I love doing it. It's one of my favorite hours of the week. And, it's just a lot of fun. I mean, I enjoy doing it whether, 1,000 people listen or one person listens. At the end of the day, it's great just to hang out with your boys and talk sports.
Sure.
And that's what it's all about.
Likewise, because you just alluded to it. I mean, it's like I said, there's a lot of things going on in this world today, politics and everything, and this is like the 1 hour we get from all that, the work stress, all that, whatever the case may be, and we come together and we come as one, and we just rap about sports, whatever, and for the Deveroux Sports, in the past, having all of us, we just come to one. Like you said, we talk 4 for 4 and union and all that other stuff. So but ultimately, we just come together, relax, get off, just shoot. It's a mancation, pretty much. We just get the 1 hour of just.
you can't help
Man.
making things weird, can you?
Yeah,
it had to take that turn.
yes,
Eventually, it had to take that turn.
yes,
And
I
it's
love-
right before I gotta go.
So, but Mike,
Now that we made it weird, Mike.
yeah, but
Thanks for making it weird.
yeah, and I remember when Mike came on a couple summers ago. He's been my tag team partner, not in just the independent wrestling world, but also and by the way, that's your fault for us losing Sinister X. That was all you because I had to carry the team. But other than that,
You got pinned, not me.
shut up,
But
Mike.
anyway,
Shut up, Mike.
Rizzo.
But Mike, it's been great that again you're doing the same thing. You're going Facebook Live. I saw you talking sports, making picks, and I said, wow, I didn't know, and this side of Mike really. I said, and I contacted you. I said, would you like to come on with us? And and it's been a thrill ride with you ever since. And now it's just doing me every Sunday morning.
This is something that really, I mean, Pat does revert back to us wrestling. Like we used to have arguments in locker rooms, and I would just look at him and be like, "Dude, you're on crack."
Yeah.
Like we would be on that side of the aisle. So really, I would go on Facebook Live, like when Live first started, and I would just do like little random stuff, like football, NFL. I would give my picks of the week. And he had a platform one day. He's like, "Dude, I would love to have you in studio." And it went from, and the way I look at it is, I got a lot of relationships out of this. I got to meet everybody at Deveroux, guys like Gus, your brother, Lieb, trying to think of a few of Mark,
Mhm.
for the longest time, Mark Gordon, it was just, then I got to
Yeah.
meet guys like Joe, like when we would do the crossover shows, I would meet Joe and like,
Yeah. Yes.
and Euro Paul and, and Diego, like, so for us, kind of became like a tight knit family. Then we got brought into a bigger family here over at EOP.
Right.
And I'm not gonna, lie. I mean, I got to meet guys like Paul, and be a part of Paul's network as well over there
Right.
and out of the box. So I mean, to me, this really's opened up a lot of avenues, and this is just something that I've always wanted to do. Like I remember walking. I went to Connecticut School of Broadcasting. Literally, just went there on a tour, and
I did the tour too.
and they sat me down literally in the studio. He goes, "Okay." He goes, "What do you like to talk about?" I was like, "Sports." I literally sat down and did like a 15-minute audition tape, and the guy was like, "Dude, you got it." And then I was just like, "Well, I just didn't have the money then to go
Yeah.
go there." But I mean, like and I got to meet cool people like Dave, like, and the funny thing is like we're all a bunch of misfits. I get to meet
Yeah.
TK, and Big Al, and we're all misfits.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't matter who we like, we all get along. Like I think I never would have imagined my 23-year-old self ever being friends with a Cowboys fan, but half of my friends are Cowboys fans.
Yeah.
Outside of like the podcast realm. So having stuff to talk about and being able to entertain people while doing it, like to me, it just and that's what drives me. I'm
Right.
like me and Pat always, we did that whole hungry dog and Joe, the hungry dog thing. Like we're just eating it up.
Yeah, man. And
Yeah.
You
that's
know what I mean? That's all we want to do is eat it up.
go ahead, Pat. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I just like I'm going to. I imagine this is Matty B, and look, Matty B again, as somebody from my old neck of the woods, getting to meet him. Again, as somebody from the Mayfair area, I was like, dude, you're from the Mayfair. Like I said, I got to do the Philly finals with him. Like I said, like Mike was saying, just getting to know people from all over and meeting all you guys. Again, you guys are South Philly, Northeast, all over. Again, and when I started this podcast, it was only and I just did a Facebook Live, 15 minutes. Me, my buddy Eddie, aka ED3, him, my buddy David, um, and so forth. And we just kind of like it was just us doing Facebook Live, and then eventually Tom came to call, come check out, the studio over here in Willow Grove. And then I said okay, and then boom, and it was a continuous cycle. And then like I said, I got to thank a lot of guys. Here goes our man Paul Spencer. You can check him out every Tuesday night at 10 p.m. on that box.
Out of the
Wednesdays,
box.
and Wednesdays talking Cowboys football with Matt Klein. Great stuff, great guys. Yeah, he goes, "What's up, family? Crazy 4 years ago, Pat, Chucky, Adam, myself." First, yeah, doing a podcast. Yeah, and like I said, Paul's on that first episode with me.
Paul's also a Notre Dame fan, and you need to
Yeah.
reach out to us to make sure we're all
Yes,
right.
yes. I'm going to do a PSA for all you
Yeah.
Notre Dame fans today. You guys, I'm going to be giving a nice wellness check in,
Yes,
like around
please.
Yes,
like
please.
around 3:45. Because if you guys lose the cow today at home,
Yeah,
like the South Bend's going to have a
Yeah.
very high suicide rate today.
yeah.
Well, listen,
Or a drunken rate.
Philly, too.
They're
There's a lot
smoking
of
Cal today. They're smoking Cal today. Today's a get back game. They're going to smoke Cal today.
yeah, well,
See, you're from your mouth to God's ears.
Please.
yeah, well, like I said, last year, because I'm about to get into the sports realm of things, but look, last year, the anniversary show was me, Chris Fedrick, and what's his name, Joe Stazak. So we did the show last year, man. It was a blast. Like I said, these anniversary shows are always it goes back to how they got started and all this stuff. And like I said, I want to thank all you guys for being helping me. Like I said, Gus, my buddy Eddie,
Yeah,
Dave,
forget it.
cousin Dave, Al, like everybody, the EOP family. We became friends.
Don't
with
forget Austin too. I mean, Austin.
yeah,
you know,
everyone does a fine job. I mean, everyone from like I said, and you see the schedule. We're constantly it's a 7 days a week thing here. Dave with me Friday nights and my buddy Key. We're talking wrestling. I mean, we got pretty much everything for everybody, and I love it. I love doing this and sharing mics with you guys. So thank all you guys. So, but look, let's get into it. Let's get to what we came here to do. Let's talk some Phillies baseball. Phillies yesterday fall short. I don't know if it's me coming back to Philly because all week, they beat up the Nationals, beat up the Marlins. They were taking care of business, and then they ran into a brick wall down Atlanta with the Braves. Falling 7-2. Kyle Schwarber hits a nice dinger. Ranger Suarez gives out one to Cortez. He had a nice game. He actually went 2 for 3 with a nice double. That double was hideous because I thought Kyle Schwarber was going to make that catch. It falls in the shadow. It turns into an ugly double. Herrera, you know what I mean? Like I said, not Herrera. Acuna, he hit a nice home run. So, guys, where are you with this Phillies team right now? Are you feeling comfortable? Where are you? Joe, I'll go with you. Where do you feel about this Phillies team?
I mean, barring a Mets like collapse from '07, I feel like they're going to make the playoffs. I'm pretty comfortable. I mean, the only thing that'll make me worried is if they lose the next two and Milwaukee wins a couple. But as long as we keep that solid like 3-4 game lead for the next 7 to 10 days, I think we're fine. I'm not worried about it. I am concerned. I'd like to see Wheeler and Castellanos come back. That's a major concern of mine.
Yeah, like I said, Ranger Suarez had 4 Ks yesterday. Not like I say, it wasn't wasn't so much on him. It was actually Dominguez and Nelson. That's where it fell apart in that 8th inning. Right. Well, like you're alluding to, like the injuries are not helping us. Like it was weird for me. Like I said, I know I've been away for a week, so it was weird for me to see Alec Bohm playing at first yesterday, and I was just like, wow, like that's something wasn't don't I guess they were trying something new, but for me they need to keep him at third. But again,
Well, no, Reese got hit on the hand the
did
other
he?
day. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so like I said,
Yeah, and Boumless had to play first anyway. He came up as a first baseman. So,
right. Well, I mean, like I said, they didn't do well yesterday. The meat of the lineup. I mean, Harper went 0 for 4, Ball went 0 for 3.
yeah, but also Atlanta had a day off too. They had Thursday off. So I mean, you had a team that was rested coming in against a team that wasn't rested coming in from a Thursday game. So, excuse me, you got to chalk that up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got to see where it's going forward. Like Ranger didn't pitch that. Maybe he gave up 1 run over
That's
6
what I'm
innings.
saying. He didn't.
You know,
The starting pitcher wasn't.
and the stopper's going to go this. The stopper's going this series too. You got Bailey Fowler going. I'm telling you, he is the stopper.
He is the showstopper.
He is the stopper in this. What I want to see him actually do is I want to see them stretch out Eflin, because I think Eflin's going to take Syndergaard's spot in the rotation. I think you're going to put Eflin in there. I think Syndergaard's going to go to the bullpen.
Really?
Yeah, I can see that for the postseason, because if you're looking at the starting pitching right now, you're getting good games. Like as much as we, that we really got on Aaron Nola, he's had 1 bad start.
Yes, I agree.
Like Nola has been dealing. Okay, you get a healthy Zach Wheeler back, which he should be coming back literally within the next couple of days. He's with the team. Okay, he's coming back. Now you go to that third spot, Kyle Gibson. Kyle Gibson looked really good the other night. Again, but with Gibson, you already know it's always 2 good starts and then a clunker.
Yeah, but
inconsistent.
Yes, very
inconsistent.
Like I said, I watch you guys through the week, and I saw Freddie Burns and Al. They had the Red Rockets out because they're excited. To me, but to me they're playing the Nationals and the Marlins, and
but you can't see. This is
you
where
got to beat who you play.
You got to beat who's
playing.
Dude, look at the Mets. The Mets have been playing basically 500 ball, and you know who their opponents have been? The Cubs and the Pirates.
Right.
Look, so come on, no, you can't get on the Phillies for beating the teams they're supposed to beat. We got on them for 3 years for not beating the teams they're supposed to beat.
Yeah, but I mean,
no, there is no. Oh well, they only beat the Marlins and the Nationals. Well, if they would have lost 2 out of 3 from them, we'd be killing them just as worse.
Let's be clear. So the Mets and the Braves played the schedule that the Phillies are playing now in the beginning of the season. That's why they got the lead in the division that they do. So let's not be like, oh well, we're playing easy teams. They played the easy teams in the beginning.
Yeah, and here's the thing. The Mets and Braves also play a series.
Yeah,
they had 1 more series. They have 1 more. They got a 4-game series
next week with the Braves.
I don't care, dude. Listen, I'm not worried about the Braves. The Phillies proved that they can hang with the Braves. The only team in the the only team right now in the National League that's in the postseason that I'm worried about is the Mets. And the only reason I'm saying that is because we haven't beaten them. But that's not to say that they can't beat them.
Yeah.
No, everything you're saying, I agree with.
And I've been dissing the Mets all year.
Right.
Unfortunately, I kind of got to eat my words because it looks like the Mets are going to make the postseason. I don't think they're going to win the division. I really don't. I think Atlanta's going to overtake them in the division.
Oh, you've been twisting my nipples about that. I was calling it that the Mets were going to win this thing. I said that. I said the Mets were going to win this thing. You said, "Oh, you're a Mets." No, you said I was going to have the.
Okay, hold on. He still got Orlando clogged in his ear.
He's got Red Rockets in his head.
Yeah, you got.
Well, I'm hearing Red Bulls and Red Rockets.
Right. Listen to what I just said. I said they're going to make the playoffs. I said they're not going to win the division. They're going to choke away the division.
Well,
and if they're not careful, they could choke their way down.
I said this earlier, is I feel like Atlanta knows that they're going to choke, and it's kind of coasting because they can't make any more. Like they're in that number 1 wild card spot.
Well, they're only a game.
They're not going to
only a game behind the Mets,
right? But they're not going to
lose
enough ground in that number 1 wild card spot to fall to 2.
Oh, you think they can? You got to remember they got 7 more, or was it? It was 7. You got 6 more games with the Phillies. Phillies win 6 games head to head.
They're 9 games ahead.
Okay, but it brings it down to 3.
I get it.
They can lose 3 games. Like it's
You're
possible.
starting to sound like Matty B.
No, I'm not. I'm just looking at it. I'm looking at it from being objective. Like you guys are making it seem like it's so far out of reach that the Phillies can try to catch one of these teams. it's not that far out. The Mets and Braves have not been playing that well. Go back and look at their last 20 games.
We're 9 games out though from the Braves.
Right.
Yeah,
Well, the Braves and Mets, they're 9 out right
Yeah,
now.
but we would have had to have swept the Braves this series. So
Yep.
that ship's already sailed. Like
Yeah.
if we had won last night, if you told me we were going to win all 6, I'd be like, okay. But like losing last night, I think puts a death knell on that.
I mean, even if you sweep the 4-game series, which is a far fetched notion.
I respect the optimism.
I do too.
I'm just looking at it because, like I said, you guys are discounting that the Mets and Braves got to play each other 4 times. So 2 of them teams, they're going to get either 2 losses or one team's going to have like one of those teams are going to drop. That's what I'm trying to tell you. And the Mets have not been playing good ball, and their injuries are starting to mount up.
Well, and everyone saw that coming.
Yes, I did.
Everyone
I've been
saw
saying
that
it since
coming.
May.
Well, right. And my feeling though is, especially last night, up until the 8th inning, you could kind of tell the Braves were coasting. Because like they could have done that early on. The hitters didn't change. It wasn't a pinch hitter that started the run. It was all of a sudden it was like bam, the door like kicked open, and they found where their bats were. The problem is the thing that I have an issue with the Braves and the Phillies matchup is that when you look at the lineups, the comparison of the 2 lineups, the Braves lineup is better. I'm sorry, but it is.
Yeah, but like Mike said though, we can hang with them. It's
I just want to know, how is it so much better? You're saying the Braves lineup's better, but they're 7-6 against the Phillies. So obviously they're not that much better.
Yeah, it's been
They're
years.
not. I'm sorry. I feel like the Braves are coasting. No, they're just playing games. Like they're playing games. Like they just got swept by Seattle.
There's been years when the Marlins have been bottom feeders, but they had the Phillies number. I mean, maybe a team just has a team's number. You know?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that they're head and shoulders better than the Phillies. I really don't. I don't think the Mets are head and shoulders better than the Phillies. It's just that they got out to a hot start.
They got our number this year.
Yeah.
The Mets.
They got our number, but wouldn't it be the Mets thing to do? Like I'm honestly looking at it right now. I think we're going to end up with the Mets.
They start metting.
Listen,
exactly.
this is what I said. I said this. I said the Mets are the type of team that will go 14-5 against the Phillies, and then the Phillies will win 2 out of 3 in that opening round. Knock them out of the playoffs.
I just love
How amazing would that be?
That would be so great.
The last 2
I'd
weeks,
sign up for that right now.
Hell yeah.
the last 2 weeks on the Patterson FNX, we've had a Mets troll come on and literally antagonize. He's disappeared. I wonder why.
Yeah.
Because they see the free fall happening in New York between the Mets and the Yankees.
Both of them. I mean, listen, I told him, I said, there's 2 things you can guarantee in September. I said, there's 3 things you can guarantee in life. Okay? Death, taxes, and the Mets choking in September.
Yeah.
right.
Like, and it's the truth. It doesn't matter. That's why I was never sold on the Mets. I got on him all year long. I kept saying, look, even if they make the playoffs, they're not getting past the first round. Like, even you can have the bye. When you get to the NLDS, when it's the best of 5, they are going home. They are going home. They are going home. The Mets will not be there. But I don't even think they're going to make the NLDS because I think they're going to have to play in that wild card round.
Hey, listen, look, and if I don't know, man. It's I think you've been counting the Mets out all year, and they've been look. And I said too, look, and I hate the Mets.
See, look, here comes Mr. Met out right now.
I'm just telling you how I see.
So you've noticed it too.
Yes,
Oh,
yes. That's why I told him he needs to take that show. Like, I mean, Mr. Met.
I've been on the final with him, the Philly final with him, and me and Matt seem to be on like the Philly side, and he comes in going.
I'm just seeing what my eyeballs are telling me.
I read these glasses, bro. You not see that
I think you
collection?
got the red sunglasses.
You want to borrow this? You want to borrow this? In all seriousness,
Where's that going?
Make you a popsicle.
Well, let me get to one of the most intelligent guys in the room.
Sure.
James.
Yeah.
You forgot Joe.
Oh, well, I know that. Joe's a smart, intelligent guy too.
Sure. Yeah.
James, what do you say with this Phillies team?
I mean, sometimes like it concerns me a bit after they have like 2 bad games. They go into a tailspin, I guess is the right word. But then Bailey Falter comes in and everything's like everything's all good again.
Yeah, he's a stopper, man.
Yeah.
And I think the other thing too is that I mean, I think I'd rather be playing the Mets in my opinion in the first round because I can't stand the Braves for God knows apparent reasons. I just can't stand the tomahawk chop, everything about it. It's like I just don't see them fitting well with the Braves. Excuse me. I don't think. I mean, Acuna kills me. He killed us last night. Albies was a big factor, and even Austin Riley's having a tear up year.
Well, Austin Riley's a beast.
Oh, he is.
He's a beast. Like, the one thing I will say this: if they had, I'm trying to remember their starting pitcher who's been out for the year, Riley, I think his name is.
No, I think it's Soroka.
Oh, Mike Soroka, yeah. If he would be available, like, then I could see them pulling away from the Phillies because Soroka's a beast.
He is.
He really is. But like I said, they're banged up too. Like, to get to your point, James, like I'm not so concerned with. I'm not so concerned with. Oh, see, oh, okay. Pat used to wear a straw. Now I know where it's from. Dirty Mets fan, take that off.
Did it have the white stains on the shirt too?
Oh, probably did from his boyfriend. But anyway,
I was thinking more along Darryl Strawberry lines.
yeah. I was thinking a little more along Pat's lines.
I got you.
Joe, let me ask you: if you're looking at it, right, coming down with this division, you know the Phillies are going to end up playing one of the two teams.
Yeah.
Who do you prefer they play?
Just from a pure, just wanting to. I'd rather play the Mets only because I know it sounds crazy because they kicked our ass all year. But throughout history, the postseason's a different animal. I mean, I remember the '83 Phillies like lost 12 out of 13 to the Dodgers,
and then beat them
out in 5 games.
Yeah.
So the regular season is different, and from the postseason. So I say bring it on, man. We haven't been in the playoffs in 11 years. Phillies Mets would be great theater. That's what I'd like to see.
And the other thing too, it's exactly 11 years today on this day that they quit the NL East for the last time.
Wow. James was still in his teens the last time the Phillies won the playoffs.
16, excuse me. I was still 16.
God, I had season tickets.
No, I'm sorry.
I was doing those playoff
Yeah,
games.
I'm sorry.
I was at the game. I was at game 5 when we lost 1-0.
One bloody nil, as Gargano would like to say.
With 1-0.
That's a top 5. That's probably a top 5 all-time Philadelphia sports loss, in my opinion. I mean, you look at Eagles Tampa is probably the worst.
I was there for that game.
Eagles Tampa is the worst for me.
I still see Rondé Barber.
If I see him in a Wawa, I'll tackle him.
See, I'd go the Joe Carter route. Like Joe Carter.
That's up there. Well, that's up there. That's top.
That was heartbreaking.
That annihilated me.
Oh, that was horrible.
If there was one team, I guess, in this city that you would love to have seen one,
93 Phils?
The 93 Phils. I think they deserve to be just. If there was any one team in Philly that deserved to win, it was them.
Because as a fan base, we could identify with it. Like they were a little dirty like us. They were a little
gritty.
They were like you definitely could drink, like be sitting next to one of them drinking a beer and not realize it until you turn around and look at them. Like just the teams that you identify with, and that was definitely.
And the best part about it is too, like they always came back.
Yep,
they always come back. It doesn't matter. Like even to this day, when they have the only one who doesn't really come back, and that's only because the Phillies don't want him back, is Dykstra.
Yeah,
like Dykstra kind of got ostracized, which I think is wrong. You know what I mean? Like if
we've met Dykstra.
We were hanging with him a few months ago over at Dolan's for a
celebrity boxing
meet and greet.
Yeah. I was supposed to be over there for that, but I couldn't make it there. But I've actually got the chance to meet him a couple times too.
I have his cell phone number in my phone.
Yeah, he's
not
cool,
that he ever answers back when you text him.
Right.
No, he's an important guy, but
yeah, but
sort of.
But you were talking about coming back. Like that's the vibe with even with that 08 team. Like they would always, no matter where it was, like it would be like bottom ninth. It would be like 8-1, and they would come back. Like there was no.
This team's got certain flashes, I believe, of that 08 team. Maybe like 07.
07 Rockies, like playing the Rock that team. Yeah,
and this is what I'm seeing with them. I think they can win around.
But that's what I'm thinking, though. We'll win around and get to the NLDS.
Don't let this team build confidence.
Right.
I really feel like if they start to roll, it's going to be hard to stop them.
That's why I'm kind of hoping I'm right that the Braves are coasting.
The one thing I like
because then that gives us more confidence going forward as we play them for the next 6 games.
The one thing I like about it too is that after they get the 2 outs, they never give up on the third out. They are a real good 2-out team.
Yeah, I was listening to Mark DeRosa from MLB Network,
Yeah.
and they were talking about like teams you don't want to face, getting into the playoffs.
Yep.
Seattle was one for the American League.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
They were talking about Seattle and Harold Reynolds turned around. He said, if you're looking at the National League team, he said the team I don't want to see in any round, he said, is the Phillies.
Yeah.
Really?
He said,
I
you
agree.
don't want to see the Phillies. He was like, they're getting healthy. If you take a look, the Phillies are really getting healthy at the right time.
Yep.
Harper's starting to hit the ball again
Mhm.
the way Harper was hitting the ball. The only problem is, I think, is getting Castellanos back integrated into that lineup because he was doing well
Yes.
before he got hurt.
Yes.
Well, one thing I brought up earlier is so Rob Thompson took over this team around June 1st. He has yet to play with the full team. He has yet to play with everybody there.
Well, that's like I said. To me, there's no pressure on the Phillies, right? It's been 11 years since he's seen postseason baseball. A lot of these guys are just getting their feet wet of getting playoff baseball. You know, guys like Reese and all those guys. So to me, like I said, there's no pressure on them. There's a lot more, and to Mike, like I said, we're talking about a lot of thinking. There's so much now pressure with the Mets winning this division because now their fan base is going to have probably calling up there and hey, listen, they need to win the whole thing now, and that could catch up with them and have them choke. And I can see where the MLB Network are saying like the Phillies could be the most dangerous animal in there because they have nothing to lose.
Right, and the Braves are fat and happy.
and-
Like they
and-
just won it a year ago.
Like and like Joe was just saying, like, can you imagine when this team is fully, strength? You got, Nick Castellanos, like you said, was hitting well. You had Bohm hitting well. Like if they could get,
JT's actually hitting well now.
Mhm.
you know what I mean? And like I said, Nola's actually not missing a beat. And this is where we had, well, I'll speak for myself. I had concerns of him falling short because normally September is when he starts to cool off, him and Wheeler, but he hasn't cooled off. He's actually
He had
better.
one bad game. Actually, he had
That's what I'm
one
saying.
bad inning. One bad inning. Not even a bad game. He had one bad inning.
And-
That was it.
And to chime in with JT, that this is a very sick stat that I had heard is that he's on pace to do 20 and 20, and he'd be the first catcher to do it since Pudge.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's
This
really
lineup,
impressive.
if you look deep into this lineup, it has true potential to be a murderer's row. If
Mhm.
everybody's clicking at the right time, which, as Mike, you were saying, they are getting healthy at the right time. If all their bats are awake
Mhm.
going into the end of this month, man, that's going to be
So-
problems.
And
for
here's the
teams.
thing: like if you look at the Phillies schedule, their last 3 games against Houston, Houston's going to be resting people because you're going to be playing against their AAA team. So that's why, like, I felt like the Phillies kind of got Houston at the right time
Yeah.
because they're not going to be playing anybody. They're going to have the #1 seed in the American League wrapped up.
Yeah, and the other thing too, we don't have to worry about Altuve or Alvarez or whoever.
You're right, exactly. They'll be sitting there playing cheerleader for that weekend. So like, hey guys, you guys got the weekend off. You know?
And keep in mind that what you're saying, Tom, about getting those bats healthier, you're also going to have healthier arms too.
Mm.
Because with Eflin and Wheeler coming back into the fray, and you already are having guys like Bailey Falter, who's a pleasant
All right.
surprise.
So I'm with you, Mike, and Joe. I've been saying this too. I think they're going to make it to the second one. I think that's where the comes. But if they can get past that, I think it would be great. So let me ask you guys, what's your? And I'll ask the whole table.
Sure.
What is? You get a full team ready for the playoffs. You get a full healthy roster. What's your full line? What's your lineup for the playoffs? Start playoffs, and I would imagine who you would play first. Probably have to play.
Well, Reese can play first for right now.
Right.
You have Reese at first. You got Segura second. Stott.
No, what's your lineup? What's your lineup?
Oh, lineup wise, it would be
I'm going to start with Castellanos.
no. I'm not going
Nah,
to start with
you're not
Castellanos.
switching
I would
up,
actually.
no.
I would start. I would put. I'd put the Rook, Bryson Stott, lead off Stott. Stott, Segura, Hoskins, Harper, Castellanos, Schwarber, Real Muto, and then I would move JT down the lineup. I feel like he would have better production down at the bottom of
Less
the lineup.
pressure.
I totally agree with just I would bump Schwarber up one spot in
Okay,
mine,
but either or though.
Yeah.
But like you got to Stott can get on base. Segura makes contact. You got to hope Reese can start making some contact. Like this is where he's got to get hot now.
Yes. I
Okay.
agree. Make it a break.
If it doesn't, you can always switch Reese, move Reese to the bottom of the lineup, and move Schwarber up.
See, I would go Alec Baum, Segura, Harper, Schwarbs. Then I'd go JT, Reese, Castellanos, Marsh, Stott. Yeah.
I mean, you can't. I mean, Marsh I would put at the bottom of the lineup.
No, he
because
could be
I mean,
nine, 8.
yeah, like 8, 9, and then like
Yeah.
1. But I mean, also too. I would also do matchups too. Like if you got a righty going,
Yep.
you got to throw Sosa in there too.
He's
Sosa's
proven.
been
He's
very,
proven his.
Yes.
And I'll tell you what, I like the kid Was it Dylan Guthrie?
Yeah,
Dalton
he-
Guthrie.
Dalton Guthrie, yeah.
that
And
kid's
he's
been
a
flying.
second generation baseball player whose father played for the San Francisco Giants.
Okay. Yeah, Dave Guthrie, right? It was his dad, I think.
Edgar Gumphrey or
I don't know.
Oscar Gumphrey or something like that.
But
But
I like him. I like him. I think he's. Did you see him busted down the line on that run?
Yeah.
That kid is fast. That's another guy too, and he can
And
play
they're
the
playing the
outfield.
field.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So like this is what I'm really digging about the Phillies. Like Tom said, you could have a murderer's row going
Yep.
here.
Yeah.
Okay. Hi guys. How you doing?
Dave,
Hey,
Hey, there she is.
Hey, yeah, right. Yeah, I'm right next to her. Anyway, anyway, Mr. Mike, why would you put Stott at 1? He's been there all season. Does it make sense? To me?
because he can get on base.
Oh, here we go. This
You-
not
you-
here.
you
I
need
didn't say it was a Stott. I said, why would you put him at 1? I
You
mean,
didn't
it
have to
makes
say.
his on base percentage is very high.
Yeah, you're putting him at 1 hole.
Yes, I am. I'm listening to my notes, Dave. I am putting Stott number 1.
You put
I'm
it to
go-
your score.
I'm going to put Segura right after him. Segura makes contact. I'm sorry, that's my phone whistling.
yeah,
I thought it was you telling him he's crazy.
No,
Yeah,
I wouldn't put Stott at 1.
I mean, well, that's your
I mean,
opinion.
I get it. That's just me.
Yeah, Dave, give me your lineup.
it's a stupid one.
I think it's a moot point though, because I mean, we
Yeah,
like I know we like this is a fun conversation to have because we're all fans. But in reality, do you honestly? Schwarber's been leading off all year. He's not gonna switch that. So I
Why
mean,
would
we
he
can
change-
talk
right,
about
Why
it.
would he
till
change it
we're-
now, Joe?
Yeah, I was gonna say we could talk about it till we're blue in the face, but I'd be shocked if Schwarber's
Yeah.
not one. And
No,
then,
I agree.
and then JT is hitting the ball so well. You don't want to mess with him. So wherever JT's hitting, you're probably going to keep him there.
Like you could put Bohm at
Look,
1.
look,
You're not
honestly.
going to
It
rock the
wouldn't hurt
boat.
you.
You know what I mean?
I don't know.
Right,
I just don't think Bohm's a leadoff hitter. I think
No,
Bohm's like middle, like he
He's
can
the
do-
best average hitter on the team.
Yeah.
So why aren't you going to put that guy there? And then you have like I go back to the 08-07 Phils when it was Victorino and Rollins 1 and 2. Then you had your murderers row with Utley and Howard, and whether it was Ibanez or Worth or Burrow, like that's the difference. You get on base, and then you let your power hitters rake.
But that's the problem, though. The power hitters have been so inconsistent on this team. How can you let them rake when they don't? They haven't been raking. Like Harper's just now getting back into form. JT is going to hit maybe 20 home runs. Okay, Castellanos' power numbers are down. He's hitting doubles. He's hitting gappers. Like he's being an RBI machine, but he's not. His power
He's
numbers are
not
down.
what we
small ball
thought.
guy. He's a small ball guy.
Right. His power numbers are way down. So again, where is your power?
Well, I mean, right now, unfortunately, and I agree with Joe in the sense that they're not going to fix something that they've gone with all year.
But
The one thing that I had said before, and I think everyone will agree, and I'm just trying to help Kyle Schwarber out. You set the record for Phillies record for most home runs by a leadoff hitter with 31 last night. But understand something: if you had people,
39.
no, he has 39.
Oh, 31 leadoff.
31
Gotcha,
leadoff.
okay.
So, you got to understand if you had people on base, I'm just trying to help you, buddy.
Yeah.
You could have more RBIs. Just pad the stats, man. You're already putting it out of the ballpark.
Yeah,
But then again, that's their issue though for putting him at leadoff. So
Yeah.
this is
Yeah,
what
I
you get.
I
You
know.
get a Brady Anderson type thing where a guy's going to hit 40 to 45 home runs, but he's only going to have about 90 RBIs because there's nobody on base in front of him.
that's like I said. I heard what Joe was saying. Like they're not going to change something. They're not going to adjust it. That's what they're going to be wrong with. But however, this is again, you want to win, and I'm with you, Mike. To me, I'm putting Schwarber in the meat of the lot. In the lineup, I'm having him hit 4. I'm putting then Reese behind him. I'm putting Reese down where doesn't have that pressure. I'm putting him Remuto down in the lineup like 7th and 8th, and I'm having like I said, I would love to have Castellanos or Alec Bohm lead off. They play small ball well. They can get on base. Then, like you said, get those guys out of your way, and then you bring in the beat part of it. Then that's where you can start tackling it because if you get
Segura's got to start hitting.
See,
too.
but that's where I disagree because I'd rather have Castellanos, even though he's a good hitter. I would rather him at the bottom of the lineup so he can turn the lineup over again. You have a guy that can get on.
Yeah, but Joe, he's not used to being there.
No,
You-
I
you
get
can't-
that,
you
but
can't
he's
put him in that
also
spot.
not hitting well where he's been put. Like when he's been in the
You
5
can
or 6
separate-
hole,
you can
he's not
separate
been.
your big hitters too if you wanted to. Seriously. I mean, between Realmuto, Harper, and Castellanos, separate them in the lineup. You know what I'm saying? Put 1-3, 1-5, 1-6, or 7, whatever. That keeps you that keeps your momentum going with your lineup. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, you can't. It's just one of those things.
But there's a reason why that so many major league teams stack the middle of their
Right,
lineup.
3, 4, 5, 6. I get
Yeah.
it, but if you separate them, then you have hitters between 3, 6, 9, or 8, or whatever. It actually make your offense a little bit stronger, I think.
All right. Well, listen, guys. We could
We could talk baseball all day.
Yeah, we can master debate this all we want.
Oh, here it
but
goes.
listen, I want to touch on this a little. Yes.
You had that at the ready, didn't you?
I most certainly did.
Thanks, Tom. Thanks. Just really thanks.
Let's weird it up.
Yes, I'm popping out the taco meat now.
I got one
Okay,
from
never
the '80s for later.
Okay.
Oh, this is Al is doing backflips somewhere.
I want to talk. I want to talk a little college football now. Now, listen. Today we have a big game with Penn State and Auburn. What do you guys feel about that, Mike? I'll go with you. What do you feel about?
I'm liking Penn State. This week Sean Clifford actually split reps with Allaire this week, the rookie freshman or the freshman quarterback. He split the starter. Yeah, that kid came in and lit up Ohio last week. Granted, it's Ohio. But this kid, I'm telling you, if Penn State puts some wide receivers around this kid, look out. That's all I'm going to say. This kid is 6'5", probably like 250. Okay, he's like a mold of Big Ben, but with a stronger arm.
Wow.
I mean, he hit this kid out the backfield. It was the backup running back for Penn State on a wheel route. The kid was on a linebacker. Running back was on a linebacker. He hit him in stride. I mean, it was the most beautiful pass I've seen in college football so far this year. And I was like, wow.
Right.
And he's on Penn State. Like, only Franklin can screw this up.
Right.
And I hate him to death. You already know how I hate him to death.
Yes. You know,
I
pretty much put it on a tee.
Dude, listen, when that USC job was open, I offered to drive him from Happy Valley to Southern California. I offered to drive him. I mean, the guy can recruit. I will give him that. He can recruit. But as far as being, when it comes to the big game and playing against Ohio State or Michigan or even against Sparty, for some odd reason, now we can't beat freaking Sparty. We can't beat the little team in Michigan, let alone the big team. Okay?
Hey, both are ranked. So
it's
that's bull.
So what do you feel though? Are you feeling that Penn State wins?
I think Penn State wins. I think they win. I think they cover actually. They're minus 3.5. So I'm looking at them to win probably by about 7 or 10. Auburn can't score. I mean, they played the Sisters of the Poor last week, and they were favored by 23.5 and just barely got out of that game. And that game was at Auburn.
Right.
That Penn State defense going to eat. Joey Porter Jr., the kid from Philly, their new middle linebacker, young man from Philadelphia. His name is slipping me right now. I'll remember it when the game starts. But the defense is. And the scary thing about Penn State is that they're all sophomores. They're all freshmen, sophomores. They got a few seniors, probably about a handful, but they're mainly sophomores and then freshmen. They're going to be good, man. And they were, I think, 4th or 5th this year in recruiting class. So as long as Franklin keeps doing it, if he can stay out of his own way, they might be something.
That in lies the problem.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, Joe, what about you? I know you're a good collegeman. What do you think? What do you think about Penn State and Auburn today?
I'm in agreement with Mike. I like Penn State from about 7 to 10, because like Mike said, Auburn's offense leaves a lot to be desired.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, I like Penn State today.
Yeah, I like them too. Like I'm with Mike. Only
everybody's with me.
Franklin James. Only
I would love to disagree, but
this game here.
I'll disagree.
Is that a good thing?
There you go.
I don't know.
Hammer, whip it out. Why are you disagreeing?
Penn State's got no shot.
Yeah, thank you. But there's more of a reason. You're playing the SEC.
So what? They played the SEC last year. Did you see Penn State's record against the SEC?
And last time I checked, the SEC is probably like the NFL light. So whenever any other division or conference goes against them, it's always a crapshoot.
Listen, Penn State has a winning. Penn State's the only Big Ten team that has a winning record against the SEC. The only team that they don't have a winning record against is Alabama. They're like 3 and whatever.
Else.
They're like 3 and whatever against Alabama.
Right.
But everybody else outside of Alabama, Penn State's got a winning record against. Oh, believe it or no, I'm sorry. What was the scrub team from the SEC? Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt actually owns. They're like 1-0-1 against Penn State. So yeah, there's like two teams. Listen, man. As much as you want to put that that SEC power, they're not an SEC power. They're not. If we were there, if Penn State was going down there to play Georgia, I would agree with you totally. I'd be like, look, we're going to get our clocks clean. They're playing Auburn. Auburn has no offense whatsoever. Their defense is suspect.
Is the quarterback for Auburn still Bo?
No, Bo Nix is actually in Oregon now. He transferred out. But Bo Nix sucks anyway.
Yeah.
We were talking about him the
Yeah.
week one when they were getting ready to play Georgia. I was like, oh, dude, he's going to get lit.
There's your Bulldog aficionado. So don't.
Well, no, I'm not. Listen, I like Georgia. I think Georgia right now is, as me and Joe were talking about Wednesday night, I believe that they are the number one ranked team in the nation. I don't believe Alabama's ranked number 2. I think Alabama got dropped down. Them getting dropped down one slot is bullshit. And I'm sorry. I'm very passionate. I can't stand Ohio State with a passion. But Ohio State got penalized because they played Notre Dame, who at that time was the 5th ranked team in the nation.
Here we go.
Okay, and because no, I'm not. This isn't a knock against your team. All I'm saying is the rating system. How is it that your number 2 was playing number 5? Number 2 wins by 11 at home. By the way, it's not like they went to South Bend and beat you guys. They won at home by 11. They were a 17-point dog or a 17-point favorite in that game. So they didn't cover the spread against them. It was a good game. They lose their number 2 ranking, okay, to Georgia, which, by the way, I felt was Georgia should have moved up. But I don't think Ohio State should have been penalized. If you're the number 2 ranked team in the nation, you're playing number 5. Number 3 is playing number 13. And they're playing number 13 at home. Yeah, they routed the 13th ranked team. Congratulations. Golf clap. That's not top 5.
Mm-hmm.
And then Alabama comes back next week, plays Texas at Texas, and wins by a point to an unranked Texas team. And they're only dropping 1 point? Nah, dude, that's bull.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
That's bull. Ohio State should be number 2 right now. I think the biggest fraud in the whole top 5 is Michigan. They haven't played anybody yet. And I don't think that they're the 4th best team in the nation.
No, they're not.
I think Clemson's better than
not looking at Big
Michigan.
Blue there, Mike?
It's not that I'm not liking them.
Right.
Just I watched them. And they're not the 4th best team in the nation.
Okay.
I agree with you. I think Clemson's number 4.
Okay.
Right now.
Yeah, I agree, Joe.
You know what I mean?
I think Clemson's going to be good, but I think eventually, like towards the end of the season,
I'll tell you what, if that quarterback plays, that defense that defense down there is nasty. Which, by the way, Trotter's son's playing on.
Yes.
Jeremiah Jr. Yeah,
Wow.
is down.
How about it?
Is down. there.
He passed up Notre Dame and Miami
Yep. And
for
now
Clemson.
the other dude is his brother. Actually, I think he narrowed it down between Florida State and Penn State.
Yeah.
So
I wouldn't be surprised if he becomes a Sentinel.
I would too. I mean, nobody big goes to Penn
At this
State.
point, I haven't followed much college football at this point. But where is Penn State ranked at this
They're
point?
now
22.
they're ranked 22, but the
22?
first 2 weeks they weren't ranked. They were the only when they got. And that's another thing too. Like Florida overjumped them week 1.
Well, yeah,
Is Penn State?
They beat
Should they be where they are? Or should they be a little?
in week 1, Florida had a big upset. That's why.
Yeah, they beat them. Yeah,
Should Penn State be at 22 at this point, or should they be?
I think they are what they are.
They are where they are.
They are where they are.
Okay.
And I'm going to agree with that. Like I said, there's a lot of turnover from a year ago with them. So I wasn't expecting them to really. I thought they would maybe the ceiling for them would be maybe top 10. If they get to the top 10, it would be perfect. But if they don't get,
Especially
to
if
the
you
top 10,
guys only have sophomores now, if
for a
you
team
set
that wasn't
yourself
ranked
up top 10
originally,
now,
I mean, seriously, a team that wasn't ranked originally.
listen, they got a tough
22.
schedule. They
Yeah.
got
Oh,
a
they
tough
do.
schedule
I'm not saying-
going forward.
They could make a run. I mean, anything's possible.
that's why I think Clemson's going to struggle because they're going to have a tough schedule towards the back end.
Yeah, the back
So-
end. I mean, not really. I mean, it's kind of spaced out. I kind of like it how it's spaced out, but I just felt like with them, it's always when it comes to Ohio State, Michigan, James Franklin just poops the bed, and it's the only way to basically put it like that. He does. He doesn't. For some odd reason, they'll play hard. I think they'll play them tough, but at the end of the day, it'll pull out. They'll pull away. And it's just something you got to take.
Yeah, well, I want to say first of all, thank you, Rob Hefner, for checking in.
Rob, what's up, brother?
You can check him out every Saturday night at 8 o'clock on the Outbox Sports Network, talking Vegas sports, giving us some love from Vegas. He said, "Happy anniversary show, and more to come." Thank you, sir. Yeah, listen, I'm in the boat with you guys. I think, though, going back to the Penn State versus Auburn conversation, I think that they're going to take care of business today. I think, I believe it or not, I think Clifford might have a good game today. I might have, and like you said, if they got to go to the bench and split reps with the backup QB, then so be it. But I think they're going to take care of business today. And here goes our man Sean Kilmer. You guys should catch him on the Soli squad.
Oh, App State. Yeah, they're going to
Yeah,
be.
man, yeah.
That's going to be a good game today too.
Yeah.
App
I
State and
really
Troy.
like those. Yeah, right. Right. So, yeah, like I said, good guy to listen to. But like I said, I'll go to you, Dave. Do you have any feel upset about Penn State losing at Auburn?
I think they should beat Auburn today. To be honest with you. I think they can. I don't know if they'll cover or not, but I think they can pull it off. I think.
Good. If you're gonna say something wrong, I'm gonna stab you with this pen.
Wow.
Actually,
Violence, are we?
I'm not much of a Franklin guy. I know you guys aren't.
Don't
either.
worry, Dave. I'll hand you a steel chair. It'll be that way.
Had
but
many
I'll
of them
hand it
back
to
then.
you.
But I'm saying,
Or get a barbed wire.
right? I'm not, like I said, I'm not much of a Franklin guy. And I know you guys aren't either. But I think Penn State wins today. Some tell me they're gonna win by at least. I don't know if it's 7. I might be a little less than that, but I think they pull it off.
Okay.
Oh wow. How about you, James? You're the head splitter right now.
Yeah, I guess it's a good matchup. But like I said, I guess Bo Nix is not there anymore. So, but I really do like that running back from Penn State. Kind of reminds me of another Saquon. I think he could be.
I don't know. Damn, his name keeps slipping my mind too.
And
Number 10, you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, they used him as a split back. Yeah. Oh, he's a Swiss Army knife for them.
Yeah. And he's good too, and Joey Porter Jr. too. So I think Penn State got a chance to win.
Oh, there you go. So Tom, what do you think?
Are you not leaving up to the Notre Dame guy to try to pick Penn State? Come on. He's got about as
You
much.
already went 0 for 1 with that kind of theory.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Auburn today.
See, shocker.
That's terrible.
Yeah, the two ND guys are both picking against Penn State. Man, where's that come in at?
I'm an NT guy. Pick them.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay.
Okay.
Well,
that's great.
Well, you're the only ND fan with smarts.
Yeah. So
No, I'm just kidding, guys.
it should be a good one today. But look, man, let's get back to the pros. Your Eagles. Listen. Like Joe said on his show, a win is a win, and we'll take it. The defense didn't look good last week. Jalen Hurts, however, looked great. He had a security blanket. AJ Brown looked phenomenal.
Yep.
Guys, how are you feeling about this? Like I said, 38 to 35 victory over, the Lions, 18 32 passes, 243 yards by Jalen Hurts, 155 yards, Jalen Brown's reception wise. Guys, I mean, they were 6 for 6 in the red zone area, just punching in with the running backs. Guys, take it away, and I'll go with the hammer. Hammer, kick it off, buddy.
Well, I wasn't as surprised about what Jalen did. I feel like he's going to have a really great year this year. I also feel like AJ Brown kind of proved. I mean, he had the best debut since Dante Stallworth back in 09, 08. So this is, we don't see this very often with a receiver. And so with Jalen, this is really going to be, a shining moment, a shining year.
You had Tia. What are you talking about?
Huh? But he didn't debut.
No, his opening game wasn't
that good.
No, wasn't like AJ Brown.
But the other thing that I'm going to say is I haven't yet. I've been talked off the ledge so far to not jump down Jonathan Gannon's throat yet. But that's coming if he doesn't change gears. Because my feeling is if you have no scheme, then you have no philosophy, then the players don't, it doesn't matter what skilled players you have, they don't know what they're doing from one down to the next, from one series to the next. So, I mean, he's got to figure it out because now you have no excuse. For me, I've said it in the beginning of the season, the coaches are the ones on the hot seat. The players are there. They're the talent. But the coaches have to put them in the best position to win, to be successful. And 22 snaps from Jordan Davis, not good enough. You have to
Nope.
have more. N'Kobe Dean barely touching the field, not good enough. Needs to be more. Hakeem's Hassan Reddick, TU product, needs to not be dropping back in coverage. The guy you need to send the dogs. And I don't wish injury on anybody, but now that Derek Barnett, the personal foul machine, is on the shelf, now you can just send them and not worry about the flag. So, I mean, Josh Sweat came up small. Brandon Graham came up small. Fletcher Cott, and the offensive line, listen, we played against Detroit, who in preseason polls had the second best offensive line to the Philadelphia Eagles, who are number 1. But their offensive line outplayed our offensive line straight out, because Aiden Hutchinson made that offensive line look silly, and they should be embarrassed. And Jason Kelsey said it after the game: "We play like garbage."
Yeah. First of all, thanks to the legend over here for that. I appreciate it, buddy. Thanks for the great comment. But listen, Tom, how do you feel about the Birds right now? How do you feel about the win? How do you feel about the Vikings coming up? All that.
I feel like my phone is ringing.
Yes. Is that the boss?
It was actually
Sean
my
Gallico.
my work boss, not my life boss.
Not the board.
I feel like they're going to correct a lot of things. I'm saying this on our show. When Nick Sirianni had his press conference and he said, we're going to look in the mirror and we're going to hold everyone accountable and hold ourselves accountable, and we're going to start with the coaching staff. I really do feel like they're going to make some adjustments. You're going to have to. You let now. Who knows? Detroit may be a much better team this year than a lot of people are giving them credit for. So and they played too tough, but 35 points to the Detroit Lions. The defense needs to get their shit together, so to speak.
Yeah,
and
correct.
I do believe they will.
Right.
I made quite a bold prediction on my score, for this game, and I'll stand by it. I really do feel like that it's going to come down to the defense. The offense is kind of on autopilot right now. So all focus goes to the defense. You have too many tools not to be utilizing them the way they're supposed to be utilized.
Yeah, and that's the way I look at this Eagles team. I just, like I said, if any of you guys had DeAndre Swift in your fantasy lineup, because you banged out 137 yards, that's good stuff for you. But like I said, and Joe said the defensive scheme didn't look that great, And like I said, I got to catch when I got home, this week, the other day. I got to stay up late, got to watch some highlights, got to watch some more film on this game, and it's just I was shocked on. Like I wanted to see it because I obviously was away and I got to see the score, but I didn't see how this all played out. So when I got to see it play out and watch it on film, I was just like, what's going on here? Like like how's this? Again, like Tom was just saying, maybe the Lions are that much better of a team that we didn't know about. Maybe the Hard Knocks show exposed all that. But to me, I was expecting a much more better sounded defense. The game what we saw in the preseason, I thought we were going to get more of that, and no, it wasn't. So Joe, I'll go to you. What's your take on the Birds?
I'm not going to kill Gannon just yet, although I wanted to on Sunday because he cost
you're
me
not
a cover.
alone.
He cost me
You're
a
not
cover.
alone, dude.
But we got to give him another couple games to get used to all these new toys,
Yeah.
But I'm very concerned about Monday night. I mean, extremely concerned because, if you lay back and you don't put pressure on Kirk Cousins is definitely good enough to beat you in this league. And, especially Justin Jefferson. I
Yeah.
mean, what are we going to do with
Yep.
him? Minnesota, I think Minnesota's going to win that division this year, to be honest with you. I'm not that impressed with Green Bay. So I'm very concerned.
You're not impressed with Aaron Rodgers' noodle arm this year?
Well, I mean, it's not really about Aaron Rodgers. I just have a feeling that Green Bay just not having the weapons,
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I didn't like. I agree with you. Like, I don't like how they used Hassan Reddick. Like, I mean, I feel like Reddick had 20 some sacks the last couple years.
Mhm.
I mean, I feel like he should be rushing the quarterback a lot more and not dropping back.
Uh,
Huh. Cobbler watching
Yeah.
film. That's great.
Hey, EOP, mind your own business what I do at nighttime, pal. What happens in Florida stays in Florida, all right?
I don't want to know what you did to Snow White, man.
It's not
really
Snow
don't.
White, okay? It was
Okay.
Goofy, all right?
Okay, all right.
Goofy, how do you think Goofy got Goofy?
Gosh.
Yeah, he was saying something else.
With the Wicked Witch of the West.
Yes. Yes, it was getting funky town. But like I said, I'm with you. I don't know how they can. Like I said, don't give Kirk Cousins time in the pocket because he will pick you apart. I mean, he's one of those quarterbacks going to have an up and down game, and if just give him a little bit of time, he'll have one of those better games. And with Justin Jefferson being out there for him, it's dangerous. He had 2 TDs the other day, last week, so he's going to be very dangerous. Mike, how do you feel about this
He's
game?
been in this division long enough, guys. You know what Kirk Cousins is about. Just saying.
I'm gonna buy all y'all. I'm gonna buy every one of you as a dog. You're just scared. Are you kidding me? You're worried about Kirk Cousins, the Great Pumpkin. You do realize this game's not at 1 o'clock. You guys do realize this game's not at 1 o'clock, right? This game is at 9 o'clock.
He does
And
have
when
a bad
and when the sun comes down,
2 and 9.
Cinderella turns into the Great Pumpkin. Okay? No, you know who the Eagles got to worry about stopping in this game? Dalvin Cook.
That's the truth.
That's who you got to stop. Okay? Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, Irv Smith, they're going to get their yards.
Jalen Reagor.
Who?
Oh, God.
You mean the punt returner guy? Yeah.
Just kidding.
See, I wasn't even going to walk into that line.
But I mean, I'm serious. Your concentration on this, and I'm sorry, I think that Gannon is feeling the pressure because Vic Fangio is sitting in that building, and Vic Fangio is going, "Dude, please screw up so I can get in here and get this defense running right."
Yeah, Kilran just wrote in and he said,
Yeah.
Vic Fangio.
Dude, when we had Barchard on a few weeks ago, Barchard told us that. Barchard was like, "Hey, just in case you guys know, Vic Fangio's still around, and he's been hanging around. He's been around
You
all."
think it's an accident?
No, it's not an accident.
It's
Howie's got his next D
Right.
coordinator ready. So in other words, if there's another bad game, like I would not be surprised Tuesday morning if you hear about Gannon getting his walking papers. There's a reason why they got Vic Fangio sitting there waiting around.
100%.
So, and guess what? If you're not worried about Gannon, I would be more worried about Vic Fangio because that dude knows how to run a defense. Just look at the Bears defense back when he coached them. They were nasty. And
Is that when they had Mac and
yes,
and all-
and
yeah.
Roquan Smith in the
Yep.
middle, and you had the three, you had Eddie Jackson on the back.
Yep.
So the Eagles have that with those
Fangio's
levels.
salivating with the
Yeah,
talent on
yes.
this defense.
Who wouldn't be? Hassan Reddick. My only issue with this first game is that I feel like their rotation wasn't enough.
Yes.
Okay, with this, if you go back and watch the game, just go back and watch. I watched the lines, and I'm not going to kill the offensive line. Everybody's killing the offensive line for having a bad game. Dude, listen, if you have 5 guys and they're bringing 6, somebody's getting free.
Yeah.
The Lions were smart. They disguised their blitz. They brought more. They were really good at disguising.
They kept moving
Right.
Hutchinson around.
Listen, I'm not even going to get into him because I saw Lane Johnson shut him down in that game. Lane Johnson, if you notice where Hutchinson got his pressures
Was on Mailata.
was on my not really so much Mailata, but on the guards.
Well, he got in,
Hutchinson had the worst game out of any of the linemen.
well, and he got in on Kelsey a couple times too,
Yeah.
and like even Kelsey said, okay, he tried to push him back out to Dickerson, and
Dickerson had a bad game. If you go back and watch it, that he was the lineman that had the worst game of all. I thought the right side of the line was pretty damn good. Sayamaru and Johnson were good. Like, I'm sorry, Lane held his own. Lane showed the young kid, like, hey, but you guys are worried about the Vikings. Listen, that game was in Minnesota last week. They only put up 23 points, and Aaron Rodgers' receivers dropped 3 touchdowns.
so you're saying they should have lost?
Yeah, and I'm not worried about Kirk Cousins. Like I said, the sun goes down, he goes from Cinderella to the Great Pumpkin.
2 and 9.
Oh, and by the way, he's
They
coming
mentioned
into the
that.
link.
Yeah,
Not the easiest place in the NFL.
and you don't really think that whole place is going to?
It's going to be insane.
It's going to be insane.
Prime time. home
We'll hear him from
opener.
here.
Yeah.
Right.
Michael,
And I
Hold on, go ahead.
does Dalvin Cook have a good game?
No,
No.
no, and the reason why I'm saying this is because I believe the Eagles are going to
Stack the box.
they're going to stack the box from him.
Mhm.
Okay, but I know who is going to have a good game, and that's going to be the Eagles running back. Eagles running backs.
Miles?
Miles, Boston Scott.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. Go back and take a look at just what they gave up last week in the running game. Minnesota can't stop the run. They're like 25th in the
See
league.
Jefferson having a good game?
I don't care about Jefferson having a good game. He's got to get the ball out. You know, like this is
He's
what
probably
I'm.
going to get his.
Well,
Listen,
Yeah, he's gonna get
let me ask you a question, though, Mike. So the leading rusher for the Eagles
I
last
need to
week
get
was
donuts.
Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
So do you think Jalen, because you're saying they're going to be able to run on the Vikings.
Yes.
So do you think Jalen is going to have a big running game?
I think I don't think he'll run as much as he did a week ago.
Okay.
Because it became an issue. If you were listening to the coaches during the week, you know what I mean? Like they really want to scale back his runs. But if Minnesota, who I don't believe their linebacking core is not as good as Detroit's.
No.
Their linebacker, they got Eric. We had his brother here,
Eric Hendricks.
Eric Hendricks. Yeah. So they have him. I'm not
Jordan Hicks too.
Oh, Jordan. That's right. Yeah, Jordan Hicks is over there with them guys now too. But I think he's banged up.
He's been banged up for the last 2 years.
Yeah, he's banged up, I think. So I don't know if he's playing, but I think their only linebacker right now is really Hicks. I think Dallas Goedert could have a great game this weekend because I think they're going to try to focus more on not getting the ball to AJ. Like I think AJ's going to get his touches, but I think he's going to spread the ball around a lot more. And the Vikings are susceptible. If you saw the game last week, like I said, Packers dropped 3 touchdowns, and the one was the very opening play of the game. He hit him in stride in the hands. Like that's AJ Brown or Devontae Smith, dude. They're catching that, and that's 6.
Yeah.
So my only issue that I'm worried about right now is containing Dalvin Cook. You shut down Cook and you make Kirk Cousins one-dimensional, Cinderella becomes a
Do you
pumpkin.
think they double team?
Yes, I think you're going to have
No,
Slay
no,
with Gardner Johnson over the top.
I said I'm thinking. Do you think they double team
Jefferson.
AJ Brown and that leaves Devontae Smith?
If they do that, they're going to
With
get
who?
crushed. They're going to get crushed.
The whole
I'm saying with Brown having such a big game last
right.
What are you talking? Help over the top?
They're
of
going to
safety?
slide
Yes.
protection over to
Probably.
Brown, but the
But
thing
then
is,
that's going to leave Devontae Smith open. Quez Watkins, like Quez could have a big game. He could have one of those games where he has 3 catches for like 200 yards.
I mean, it's a pick your poison. You know, it's like you either, that's the thing people don't realize is like Devontae Smith did not get catches last week because it was just because Jalen wasn't throwing.
So yeah,
He was covered.
and he was also open. So he dropped a couple that was in his hands.
Yeah, well, he had 3 targets and he dropped 2 out of the 3 targets.
That's
And
what I'm
only
saying.
one was
Do you-
Jalen's
Do you
fault.
think that
Yeah.
Hurts' little confidence level is up there with Devontae Smith? I mean, knowing that he's got a great receiver like Brown.
Yeah. My only question about this whole game is the Eagles stopping Dalvin Cook, and I think they can. And I'll tell you what, I love Marcus Epps.
I think Dalvin Cook has a game.
Park
I'm
Jordan
saying.
Davis right in front of that line all day long. You're taking.
Going to be hard to get
You're-
through him.
You're taking on. He's
Listen,
taking on 2 defenders
listen, you
every
gotta-
single time. They
Listen,
snap the
you know
ball.
who I'm
You only
not.
do so much, Joey.
You know who's getting. You know who's not getting much playing time this week, and I'm letting them know it. Fletcher Cox. Fletcher, you're getting 20 snaps this game. Jordan Davis, Hargraves, and Milton Williams. You 3 are rotating in. They're my big bodies.
Yep.
Put them in there.
Agreed.
Well said, Mike. Well said. You can't say that any better because
You know, I mean, this is like everybody's been breaking it down all week, and everybody's so scared of Justin Jefferson. Okay,
You
if
got to
back
have
on-
time to throw it to
you
him.
got to have time to throw it. That's one. Number 2, you also got to take a look too. The Packers didn't roll their coverage. Jair Alexander didn't stick Justin Jefferson the whole game. It was only when he was on his side. They did the side thing. So that was it. If Jair Alexander's on him the whole game, he's not breaking loose like that. Jair Alexander's a Pro Bowl cornerback.
And the other thing too, we got two competitive quarterbacks. And
Listen, I'm loving the safeties. Like I'm looking at it right
think we
now.
put those-
Listen, if you really want to save it, you match him up with Slay. You give Slay either Epps or Johnson with help over the top. Me personally, I would do Epps because Epps is a heavy hitter. Justin wants to go up and get the ball. A few shots to his ribs. He ain't reaching up for that ball no more.
I was
Right.
impressed with
I put
that.
those
So was I. Epps, you know who Epps
Well.
reminded me of? And I said it. I said he reminded me of a cleaner.
Andre Waters.
Andre Waters. Exactly. He was a heat-seeking missile on Sunday. he was a missile, dude. Every time there was a run, he was throwing his head, his body in there. Now, the only thing with that is, though, that's a little overzealous. I can see him getting beat.
Getting railroaded.
So do you agree with Sean Kellerain said? He said you gotta get Dallas Goddard more involved.
I believe so,
Yeah.
but there's only so much balls to get around. Not the,
Right. Hello.
Speaking of this table, it's nothing but nuts and balls here. But
Now you're talking Pat's language.
you see, he perked up as soon as I said, "Yeah, there's only not enough balls." But
In Pat's life, there's never not
Channel
enough
77
balls.
and 78.
Yeah. After 11 o'clock.
greater media cable.
You know it.
Tocom box.
And then the Scribble Scrabble
Oh,
goes
shit.
away.
But Pat, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
If you're the Eagles, how are you attacking this Vikings defense? How would you attack them?
Like I said, you're going to have to do what you did last week. You're going to have. I would have have Jalen do a couple mobile plays where he's run with the ball, make a couple sling the ball towards AJ Brown. I'm pretty sure they're going to have to put they're going to have they're going to have double coverage on AJ Brown, and this is where you can get Dallas Goedert more involved.
Goddard should have had a touchdown last weekend.
Yeah, I
He
agree.
should have. I mean, he was right there in the door, but
So my question is, you attack down the middle, attack the middle of the field.
I think so
And-
too. But I just want to hear guys' different opinions on how you think you should attack them. Because to me, like I said, they're not good against the run. I watched like AJ Dillon was beasting on them yesterday or last week. AJ Dillon was
Say, I would go
beasting,
with the run game first.
and that's
Sound
another thing
first.
too.
Right,
I don't know between Boston Scott or maybe you take one of those lesser wide receivers that we have on the team, like out of the 5, and only do 4 wide receivers. But you need Trey Sermon for this game. Trey Sermon is a really good back. He's a power back. He's like an AJ Dillon for Green Bay. I would love to see the Eagles just start like you got to pound them because I'm sorry, Danielle Hunter is probably the best defensive lineman, and he's going up against Johnson.
Right,
So-
and like you're saying, like okay, so like last week they didn't really start running the ball to like the end of this, to nearly the end of the first half. Like that's where you need to start punching the ball now. Like you said, if they can't stop the run, this is where you start, exposing them for that. Start,
I think Sirianni.
Sure.
I think Sirianni and Slaken are going to do that. I think you're going to see a lot more run heavy first.
Yeah,
I think they just wanted to get AJ involved.
yeah.
And but I mean, dude, like, listen, doing his little slants that he does, like, that's almost like a run anyway. And that dude is a beast.
Yeah, yeah.
Did you see, like, the end of the game, dude, the Lions defensive backs didn't want nothing to do with him.
Right, and
They were moving like, oh, dude, we
and
got to tackle this guy.
once you go into double coverage on AJ Brown, that leaves things for Devontae Smith and Dallas Goedert, and then you get the one-on-ones, and then then you got your burner with Devontae Smith. So then, like I said, it's a whole world. Like we see obviously Jalen Hurts doesn't have the arm strength, but I mean if he can make those plays, on the sidelines where he scrambles to the left and shoots it, finds a guy wide open like a Devontae Smith on a one-on-one, you got it. And then you can start cooking.
Well,
So, yeah.
one thing that was encouraging about last week, because one of the criticisms of Jalen Hurts was that he didn't throw the ball over the middle. He actually did throw it over
Yeah.
the middle last week, which was,
Very well.
going forward. I mean, I feel like that's a big sign because he's going to need to do that.
Yeah, like if you see it out of the shoot, that's the first thing he did. He went over the middle to AJ Brown, no problems there. So, James, what do you got, buddy? What do you think about this game?
They're really exciting to watch. I think the one thing I liked about it too is like you said, Joe, about like Jalen Hurts throwing the ball over the middle. I haven't seen that in quite a while. And the one thing everybody was liking, like, oh, like he didn't look good in training camp. But like my dad said at the beginning of training camp, you don't even know what they were working on at training camp. I know probably didn't show you that because the media can only be there for a limited time during training camp. So overall, I think if they can fix the mistakes on defense and hopefully Jonathan Gannon has that, hopefully gets that straightened out, it could be a fun year. I think I'm really looking forward to what Jalen Hurts has in store. And I got to be honest with you, AJ Brown is a phenomenal player. I mean, he is really, really good.
Yeah,
I think he was probably the biggest piece of the puzzle, like him on offense and Jordan Davis on the defense. But we got to get Jordan Davis some plays in the defensive field side of the field on that defense side of the field.
If you watch it too, this has become, and not to shift gears, but if you watch it, this has become one of the more exciting matchups in the NFC is
Right.
Eagles and Vikings. I know again it's gone back 5 years ago when they won the Super Bowl, but the whole hype between the Eagles and Vikings and the skull clapping and all that, like believe it or not, they've become one of the more hated teams in the city. That's outside of the typical Penguins, Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah,
you know,
they're
Mets,
up
etc.
there. I mean, it's
They,
kind of weird
they,
too.
they've gotten up there in the recent years of becoming like a hated fan base for us anyway.
You know, it's kind of weird that we don't even have a lot of things in common with Minnesota. Like, obviously the Flyers don't play them in the East, or maybe
Or in
I don't even think
baseball.
the Sixers play them in the where do the Timberwolves play in the East?
Well,
or
West.
They're in the
The
West, so yeah,
Oh,
they only
okay.
play them twice a year.
Don't mess
And
with
the
the
Twins
Rocky
are in the West
statue.
too. So like
Yes.
it's just kind of a rare rivalry. But yeah, I mean, going back to 2017, I mean, like they basically like hold their like whatever they were trying to do, and basically like what they were trying to do with the skull claps. Like, yeah, Karma's a bitch now, isn't it?
Yeah, well, like I said, that's
Well, they got us
and-
twice after that. So
Yeah,
Well, yeah, they
that's
did.
true.
But I mean, the first mistake they did, they were the first fan base to put a jersey on the Rocky statue, and that's what
Yeah.
really twisted people's nipples around here. So I know it did it for me. And
Well, here's the thing, Pat. We as a fan base got them back, and I know this firsthand because when I was in South Philly and we won that game, I went and I hit Broad Street, and they, for whatever reason, the coaches and the trainers had to go back to the hotel in Center City, and they took their bus driver, must have been from Philadelphia, because he drove right down Broad Street. So you got a crowd of people surrounding this bus, rocking the bus.
yes,
And I'm like, we're doing the skull clap. We're rocking the bus. We're saying, get out of here. We're everything. I'm like, why didn't they just drive them onto the expressway?
you remember,
Like, why did they take the local route?
and you remember during that run, as
This
the
is an
Sixer
easier
games,
way.
they weren't doing skulls; they were doing false chants.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I mean? They were doing the skull.
I was at
false-
that game,
you know
and
what I mean?
it
They were
was
doing the false
lit that
chant.
night, man.
Yeah, it's crazy. So I mean, like I said, they become a recent pain in the side for the Birds as a
Hey,
become a
Mike,
rival.
I got some purple juice for you.
Oh, would you shut up, you? No, okay.
You got your own problems, like
Yeah.
Yeah, tons of them.
listen,
really.
I be,
That's
before-
me in the corner.
No, I as far as this whole thing, I don't consider Minnesota a main rivalry at all.
No, not
No.
me. But I mean,
And like not even the whole,
That's what I was saying.
like to me,
it's become one of the better marquee
No,
matches.
all it was a bulletin board material for a week.
Yeah.
Is what they gave you by messing around with the Rocky statue. That's it.
and that was it. And like to me, I've moved past that. Like I look at now, like I mean, yeah, that whole thing was great. Like we got even with them. We blew them out in the championship game. Then we won our Super Bowl in their stadium. I mean, like
Yeah.
what more better
Win-win.
revenge than you could ever say to a team is that we beat you to win our first Super Bowl in your stadium.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know, like,
there's no
there's
coming back.
nothing-
Yeah, there's no coming
Cooper
back
Rush
from
went in
that
there and beat
for
him too.
What's that?
Last season, Cooper Rush went in there and beat him too.
Yeah, I'm going to mention something too.
Go with
Like,
the Cooper Rush shit.
hold on, no,
Never
listen. If a lot of people think that the Dallas Cowboys are going away, that their season's done, you're nuts. If you watch that game Sunday night, Cowboys were running the ball down Tampa's throat, and Zeke actually looked good. Dallas isn't going anywhere. If anything, I think they're going to be even a little more better with Rush, only for the simple fact of I don't think they're going to put him in the same position they put Dak in. I think they're going to run the ball more, and that defense over there in Dallas is solid. And it sickens me to say that because I hate the star with a passion, but you got to give the devil their due.
Mike, you're about to be put in Matty B's office.
I'm not about to be putting Matty B's nothing, dude. I watch football, dude, and I
understand, but
I see. No. I'm not. This isn't no 700 level pom pom raising
Oh,
for me, brother. I tell it like it is.
so
They,
do I.
they look good on.
How do you say Cooper Rush is going to be a quality quarterback?
Because they're going to take the ball out of his hands and run the ball. When you have Tony
They
Pollard,
don't have an offensive line.
well, their offensive line held up pretty.
They have Jason Peters, for crying out loud. The guy's got a
Did you watch the game Sunday night?
yes.
Okay, Tampa's got a better defense than our defense. Vita Vea.
Disagree.
No, you can disagree all you want.
disagree.
Tampa's defense is better than the Eagles right now. They're
All right, Via Vea. Who else?
what's his name? The Shaq Barrett on the outside.
Devin White.
Devin White. I mean, their defense is better than the Birds right now. I'm not saying by the end of the year. I'm saying right now, coming into the season, they are better.
Well, I can't say no because
Zeke-
we let up 35.
Right, and they let up 9 or
Right.
3 or whatever it was. Was it?
So, but I mean, my feeling is
No. What was your? How many points did Dallas score? 3, right? Right. So they gave up 3 points. I'm not trying to hear that. Like right now, they are better than the Eagles. Zeke was popping that defense for 5.4 yards a carry. 5.2 it was? Okay. I know it was over 5. Okay. God forbid if they gave Tony Pollard a shot to run the ball. Like, listen, I don't just watch my team. I watch all the teams. And what I'm saying is, like, for anybody to sit here and think that the Dallas Cowboys season's over because Dak's going out, you're nuts, dude. Like, and Cooper Rush can win a game. Obviously, he went to Minnesota last year and beat the Great Pumpkin in his own house. Like, this is the guy you guys are worried about.
That
Right?
was a Sunday night game too.
Yeah, like this is what you guys are worried about. You're worried about Kirk Cousins, the Great Pumpkin. He lost at home to Cooper Rush. Right? This is what you guys are
Let's
saying.
be clear.
I'm
I'm not
not
worried about Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, don't put me under that umbrella.
I'm worried about Dalvin Cook.
Wait a minute. And you
Same
call
here.
me a Mets fan. I think someone's a Star fan.
No, but I'm just being realistic because I heard a lot of our
That's
fan
why
base.
I got my ire up because he started to go into that perspective.
No, I'm going into the perspective basis because a lot of our fan base was with the pom poms waving,
Oh,
going,
I saw that.
Dallas is done. No, they are not done, dude. Not by any means.
If they lose 5 games out of the next 7, because Dak might lose 6 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
If they lose 6 to 8 weeks, if they lose 5 out of the next 7, they're done. They're going to be buried in this division.
But let them lose it first before
No,
you
I-
say that
you're
they're
right.
done.
Before you count down.
This is what I'm saying. Like you, not Eagle fans, pom poms in the air. They're done. No, they're not done yet. They're done when they are eliminated.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that's when you eliminate them.
I see
You
it.
kick dirt on the Cowboys when they are officially eliminated. Then you can talk crap. Like
Yeah.
right now, we can't. Us as Eagle fans, we cannot say a word to a Dallas Cowboy fan. They kicked our ass twice last year. Granted, the second game was against a bunch of guys that
the practice squad.
right, and Wawa. So I mean, I don't really care. I don't count that game. But the first game, it mattered, and we got our asses handed to us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So until they play them again, and in a way, it's still kind of, to me, it's kind of asterisk a little bit. It's because they don't have their starting quarterback. You know what I mean? So like, there's kind of a built-in excuse there. It is. If you look at it, if the Eagles didn't have Taylor,
You know what they say about excuses, right?
yeah, they're like buttholes. Everybody has one.
Hello.
See, look, I said buttholes and Pat wakes
In
up.
Pat's case, nipples, but it's
Here we go. But I'm just saying, like, and let me ask you guys a question too. As far as since we're talking about the division, like, are you guys believing in either the Commanders or the Giants?
Not yet.
This division is. I said it before, and I said this last year too. If you remember, everybody's calling us the NFC least. Can't say that anymore because there was 2 teams in that playoffs last year: Eagles and Cowboys.
Mhm.
So to me,
Yeah, we both got eliminated the same day.
oh yeah,
Yeah, well, we both had
that's
2
true.
times the first month.
But my point being is, we were there. So this division is not the NFC least anymore. I don't think it
Yeah, I
is.
never get that either because, like,
No.
the South only sends 1 team a year,
Yep.
and the North only sends 1 team a year. But
Yes.
yet, we're the worst division in football.
But yeah, we sent 2.
and,
Go
and-
figure.
yeah, and
Maybe our records are bad because we're beating the hell out of each other.
well, that ain't
Yeah.
that. Listen, that's been going on for
Right.
decades.
Decades.
But it's crazy. Like I watched most of these games this week or called out with, like I see more division games. Like our divisions, like we don't play each other like later in the season, like mid-season, and then of course at the end. Like that's how much of a buildup we have in NFC East. Like we don't really.
Dude, you know,
start
the
out-
last 3 weeks, it's always NFC East. Like,
Yeah.
this is the first time that the guy who does the NFL scheduling, because I really wanted to write him a personal letter. For like 5 years, we had the NFC East 3 to 4 straight weeks, and it was only the Eagles. And you know what else he do? He would give us the Cowboys, the former Redskins, and the Giants all coming off a bye.
I
We
remember
have
that.
3 straight
Yep.
games, and then if they be coming off a bye, and I'm like, dude, who did he get mad?
So I would say out of the rest of the division, I still don't have faith in the Giants.
They look good, man.
They look good.
They look good. I'm not sold on Thibodeau. Though.
I'm not-
I break my
we're-
son's.
That's where I'm at.
Yeah.
I'm not sold on
Joey
him.
Barkley did look good on Sunday.
No, he did. He
Yeah.
looked like his old form, which is great.
which is not good for us.
Right. But for them,
Yeah.
and the idea that he wants to prove something.
It's not like they beat
But-
the Slaps team either. 'cause they're
But
super good team.
Commanders, I'm not the biggest Sharman Wentz fan. I'm really not.
Sherman Wentz. That's
I'm
great.
really
Leave him
not.
alone.
but
Then again, Joey, it was Jacksonville. So
he had it was a redemption game.
Right.
Well, hold
Because
on.
they were the team that eliminated him last year. So it was his payback.
Okay. Plus, Carson's playing against his old coach. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall for that conversation.
I don't think there's any
So
animosity.
look, we're almost just up against it. Let me ask you guys. Let me get a final thought on this game. I'm going to start with Tom. Tom, what would be your final thought and your predictions for this game?
The Eagles tighten up on defense big time. As long as you stop Dalvin Cook, Birds 38, Vikings 14. Statement game.
Wow. Okay. James?
Well, the thing about it, like I said with Jonathan Gannon, he's better get his shit straight out. So that's the biggest thing. But I said the Eagles are going to win by a field goal. It's going to be close again. Another nail biter, but Eagles win 31-28.
Wow. All right. Hammer?
I don't like this game for a lot of reasons because Jonathan Gannon makes me nervous that he's just a bonehead. You know, like Mike was saying, I'm scared of the pumpkin. No, I'm scared of the fact that our defensive coordinator is an idiot.
Right,
Like it has nothing to do with the talent on the other side. I just know they could burn us. Just because our defensive coordinator is an idiot. And he hasn't proven to me that he's not. I think the Eagles are going to pull it off, but it is going to be a sweat fest. It's
Sweat fest.
31-27 Birds.
Wow. All right. How about you, Mr. Yarnold? I'll go with you.
I like Dalvin Cook running a lot this game. I think if they can't stop Dalvin Cook, it's going to be a long day for the Eagles. And Mike knows that. But my point being is I have Minnesota 27, Eagles 24.
Wow. So you have the Birds losing. Wow.
Super shocker.
Yep.
Joe,
Paint
I'll
me
go with you, bud.
surprised.
What a surprise.
What's your final thought? And what's your final prediction?
I like a Birds win. I'm going to say it's a sweat. I'm going to say like 27-23.
27-23. Okay. Mike?
I'm on the lines of Tom. I think we shut down Dalvin Cook. We make the Great Pumpkin try to beat us. The Great Pumpkin doesn't beat
You
us.
should get that T-shirt.
And I like the Birds 34-17.
34-17.
I don't think that, and I think you get big games out of Sanders, Gainwell, and Scott. Those three running the ball. You're going to get over probably. I'm calling it now. I said they get over 240 rushing.
Well, you had 4 rushing touchdowns last week, right?
Right, but then they had 217 yards rushing. I think they get close to 240 this week.
240 between the three of them?
Yeah. Not one particular back, but between the three of them, the Eagles were putting up over 240.
Well, I mean, they had 4 touchdowns, but then with all 4 different people.
Right. It was basically Hurts and the 3 running backs. But
Yeah.
I just don't. I can't see Minnesota stopping our run game. And you know what? The offensive line was mad about the way they played, like Joey was saying.
Yep.
So what happens usually when they have a bad game?
They come back.
Think
and
about
smack you
that.
in the face.
Think about that. When Kelsey gets ticked, man,
Oh, it's bad.
the next game, dude, is just they're just like that line is just going to be so focused. And I also think the defensive line is going to be because the defensive line's taking a lot of criticism. But I liked what Tom had to say about you. You know, you bring Jordan Davis in. Me personally, I think there's a 3-man team. You tell Fletch, hey, look, you gonna give the kid a breather. You know, I don't think Fletch cares. He's making $14 million a year. You know, and as far as BG goes, you know, I think BG. If you took a look at the tape last week, man, he was double teamed a lot last week. Josh Sweat needs to step his game up.
Yeah,
I said this last week, and I Joey kind of agree with me, but I said it today. Do you think fatigue took a factor in
Oh yeah, most
in the
definitely.
Eagles game last
Most definitely.
last
Yeah, they
week?
were gassed. I think now.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
kind of look at last week as really kind of your 4th preseason game.
Ah, yes.
You know what I mean? Because if
Yeah.
you look last year too, like the Eagles didn't really look as sharp when they went to Atlanta. You know, they had a few offensive burst plays that kind of looked good, and then after that, they were kind of low and.
Yeah, it was an ugly game last year too.
So, but then when you see
but you
this
still pull out a win.
right? But the second game of the year, they were in a dogfight with the 49ers.
Right.
Right.
And then to be honest with you, like a lot of people were like, "Oh, well, you lost that game to the Niners." Yeah, but it was a dogfight all the way through.
And the other thing too is like that was like they still had 3rd preseason 4 or actually no, there was only 3
There was only
preseason
3
games?
last year too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And you also during the Niners game, you also had Derek Barnett giving you like 6 first downs.
6 first downs. You
Yeah,
had
exactly.
Brandon Graham got hurt in that game. I
missed that guy.
Yeah, Brandon Graham got hurt in that game, and so did Barrett Brooks. They lost Barrett Brooks and Brandon Graham a year ago in that game. So, like I said, looking at this game coming in Monday Night, Pat, I really do. I think it's a statement game for the Eagles, not so much for. I mean, because as of Thursday, when I also want like whenever we play a team, I try to find their team's podcast and like podcast on their team, and I go and I watch just to see what their fan base is saying. Those guys as of Thursday, and I'm talking about the team itself, they don't learn from their mistakes. Okay, 2017, they had the big miracle win against the Saints. They talked about it all week. They came here and laid an egg. As of Thursday, they were still talking about the win over Green Bay. Okay, at home. No mention about the Eagles. It was all about how Justin Jefferson was abusing Jair Alexander, which wasn't the case. If you watched the game, you saw he was switching on and off. Eagles did not get mentioned on them until yesterday. That's bad, and I'm talking about from their players. Oh yeah. Oh, by the way, yeah, we got to go. We're prepping for Philly. Yeah, that's pretty bad. Like Minnesota's been on the Eagles' mind since Wednesday, since they came back.
Maybe earlier.
You know what I mean? Like, so to me, I feel like they're going to be the more team. And like I said, I don't have the faith in Kirk Cousins. It's not 1:00. Cinderella turns to the Great Pumpkin, and yes, I'm going to get. I should make that shirt with his face on it.
Like I said, I hate to be the wet noodle in the room, the Debbie Downer.
You are.
This shriveled up wiener. But listen, I have the Birds losing. I think that
that's great because I'm going to go the other way because you're turning into the leave of the show.
Oh no,
Yeah, that's true.
The reverse mush.
Yes.
Oh no, he took over for Lee. Lee rubbed off on him or rubbed one off on him. One or the
what's
other.
up? Hello.
Could be either way, yeah.
Yeah. So I think the Birds are going to lose by TD. I think it's going to be low score, and I think the Birds lose 21-14. I think I
think that offense is only going to put up 14 points against that sorry ass defense.
Yeah, or it's going to be 21-28, but I think they're going to lose TD. I think Kirk Cousins.
Don't let him change your mind, Pat.
No. But I'm not.
Look,
I know, but I'm still wrong with Minnesota going to win.
I'm glad you are. You roll with Minnesota, and my money's going on the Eagles, and I will be.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I just
do a collabo because our scores are close.
I know.
Yeah,
I really am,
We'll have
man.
to go live after.
Yeah, I think that Kurt's going to go off. I just think that this defense is still going to be lackluster from last week, and they're going to find a way to try and shut down Jalen Hurts.
By the way, 2-9.
But it was
Kirk
funny.
Cousins
We were
record in prime time.
we were
2-9.
doing our predictions.
Jalen Hurts ain't so great in prime time himself either.
We were doing our predictions on the Pat Snap show earlier, and Frank Finnegan, who's on the Pat Snap show, he had Minnesota putting up 40.
Yeah, I'm not.
Wow.
Now,
Yeah, he did.
Now I'm not getting myself in a wet T-shirt for that, but I mean, but anyways, look, man, that's my prediction. But look, guys, this has been a great show. I want to thank the Pass and Av guys, of course, my man who's got me into this game, my right hand, Tom Kelly. Thank you, sir. Of
course.
I want to thank the Hammer, Joey Marks,
Absolutely.
and my man James Sorza. You catch
Hey,
these guys every
anytime, man.
Saturday morning at 9 a.m. doing a phenomenal job.
Forgot to add Dave. He's right next to you.
And we do that all the time.
Somebody,
It's so
We
bad.
do that all the time.
nobody puts Dave in the corner.
Who? No, you can, and my man
I'm just
Dave.
teasing.
You got my man Dave because because Dave's on multiple platforms. He's here in Pasadena. He's he's everywhere. Everywhere but on underwear. So he's here. He's on the podcast with me. Talking steel steps. He's everywhere. Out of box. He's on there. Goes in and talks Cowboys time to time. He does everything. So like I said, Dave's like me. He's everywhere but on underwear. So he does a phenomenal job. I love Dave. Dave really helps me out. So and then of course you got you guys. You got Joe and Mike. You catch them out of box podcast
Every Wednesday night. Yep.
every Wednesday.
Wednesday night, me and Joe, along with Paul and Joey Woods, we do college football. So make sure you definitely check us out. Myself, I have Big Mike's 4for4 Sports Locker Room podcast every Thursday night. So make sure you check that out.
Yeah,
And,
and you can catch
Sully
Soda
over here.
Squad every Monday. on
Every Monday,
Deveroux
yep.
Sports.
Him and Diego, you're Paul,
Oh, yeah.
Sean Kilrain, the
Phenomenal.
Four Horsemen.
The Four Horsemen, the
That's
men
right.
of the Monday nights. I
Yes,
like
the
it.
men of the Monday nights. Yes.
Yes,
And
and
the
you can,
Selly Squad gets the pregame show on Monday.
Yeah,
night, too.
pregame show this
Pre-
week.
yeah.
Yeah, we usually post, but this time it's pregame. Yep.
right.
That's
and,
awesome, man.
Excellent.
and then of course you got me and Mike every Sunday morning yelling,
Got it.
screaming at each other. It's never a dull moment. Talk about angry. You know, there was I'll put it like this. Me and Mike argued for 60 minutes straight. But
Pretty
look,
much all the time. But yo,
yeah, let's pay the bills.
let's before we pay the bills, we have to go around the room. You called us the Gobble Show. Now, one time did you mention what are you eating today?
Oh my gosh, I forgot what I'm swallowing. I meant what I'm eating.
Whoa! See, look, this is what I got to deal with. He said he forgot who he's swallowing.
Well, I was going to say that with the way he talks, I guess that answers a certain question.
Yeah, seriously. All mystery solved.
You really want to?
Wow. Well, if you didn't think we were going to blow up the rails before we went off the air, you would be sadly mistaken.
Yes.
good.
Well, believe it or not,
Dude, this is great. No, you don't have now just me picking on you. Now you got
whole network.
You got the whole network's going to be coming for him. We're going to be calling Pat the tube smoker. So anyway, what are you having today?
what am I having today? Believe it or not, I'm having wieners and baked beans. I'm going to make a wiener baked bean sandwich. Oh man, it's the best.
All right, so you're having dogs and beans. Okay.
Yes, I'm having wieners and beans.
Joe, you doing anything for today?
You know what? I haven't thought about it honestly. I'm sorry. Yeah.
All right, that's cool. I don't know. I don't.
We'll take. Oh, yeah, I'm getting some. Oh, you know what? Actually, I think I'm getting chicken.
There you go.
Yeah,
There you
we're
go.
doing chicken,
James,
yeah.
you guys doing anything for college football today?
Maybe just some pizza, like here.
Okay.
Pizza.
Hammer.
I know what I'm not doing. Wieners and beans.
I'm staying away from them.
But no, I'm making some chicken cutlets.
There you go.
There
That
you
worked.
go.
Tom.
Probably start with a appetizer Miller Lite and then a main course of Miller Lite and then maybe a little Miller Lite for dessert.
Oh hell yeah!
What? No
Okay.
whiskey?
You know what's funny? The Franks and beans, wasn't that something about Mary?
Yeah,
Everything Franks
yeah.
and beans, Franks and beans, right?
Yeah. But
Dave,
good.
are you doing anything for the
Yeah.
game today?
Big Ziti.
Big Ziti? Okay.
Oh, my man.
Wow, that's
Oh,
nice.
my man. Wait, dude.
Yeah, see, I don't know yet. I don't know what I'm doing yet. Like I said, my sister-in-law's birthday's today, so I don't know if my wife's still going. You know, I'm probably going to try to get her out of the house, and so I don't know what we're doing once we go there. But definitely tomorrow, I'm doing meatballs in the crock pot since I don't have to get up and come in here at 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yes.
I can prep all day tomorrow.
There
And
you go.
I'm doing meatball sandwiches. So
Yeah, let me ask
There
you,
you go.
what would be your typical Monday night primetime meal, though? What would be your
chili. You start out
All
early in the
day.
day,
That
let it
sounds
cook in the
great.
crock pot, and dude, when you
You think
come
it's too
home,
early, though? I mean,
no,
you wish you get a little cold?
football, no, dude. Football. Once football season starts, dude, it's chilly weather.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
can eat chili year round. Like
Either
that
that
doesn't
or
bother
beef
me.
stew.
I'm a huge stew guy,
Yeah.
chili. I love it.
By the way, because we're talking about food, I'm going to tease
Oh.
something a little bit.
Take it off.
There's another announcement that'll be coming down the road come November that it's a collaboration between me and James. We're going to be bringing out a Philly tailgate ebook about Philly tailgate recipes. So it's going to be a recipe
Nice.
book.
Oh, okay. Let me know if you need to hear
Philly sports centric.
I got recipes for booze shakes,
Oh, nice.
and I also got my own taco dip, and I make a cheesesteak dip as well.
So stay
Cheesesteak
tuned
is
in
a
November. It's going to be a nice
It
stocking
takes a
stuffer.
minute to make that, but
Bang.
And if you remember last year,
yeah,
I,
remember I made the taco dip. I brought the taco
Yeah.
dip in, man. These guys tore it
I
up.
swallowed that thing.
Yes, he did.
Whole. Well, listen. Well, you know,
He walks into it.
Every time now, I'm just like, all right, I gotta, you know.
It's like Dave shot.
He
Oh,
drops
wait a minute.
the line, the music goes on.
we remember last year, and me and Barcher had this problem because I said I think it's a volunteer move. You have to have at least one cheesesteak a game, at least. And he said, no. I said I need to have. No, for tomorrow I would like to have a cheesesteak for a Monday night. It's prime time. You gotta get.
Hey, listen, if you really want to up your thing, I did
Oh,
this.
I love to up my.
Listen, I went to Delaware Park. They have a little restaurant in the back of Delaware Park, and I got a side of chili. And I ordered a cheesesteak, you know, because I'm trying to cut out carbs. So I told her no fries. So I just had the chili and the cheesesteak, right? So I said, my wife was like, I said, all right. I took it and I poured it on. And I started eating it. Dude, it was a chili cheesesteak and it was banging. The lady literally looked at me. She goes, did you pour your chili on there? And I'm like, yeah. So I'm just eating it like this. And she was like, so I ordered it again. Like literally the chef came out and was like, yo, he's like, I'm going to add this on there. So like, I don't know. Cause he asked me my name. I was like, my name is Mike. He's like, yo, I'm going to call it Mike Steak. Mike Steak sandwich
Wow.
on there. So if you go down to Delaware Park and there's a Mike Steaks on the menu and the little club thing in the back, yeah, that was from me.
That's excellent.
Yeah,
man.
my cousin Dave that was on the Kind of Misfits. My man puts scrapple in the cheesesteak.
Yeah.
That thing.
Where's the one Al wants to take us to? The place that does the scrapple with the cheesesteak.
Or is it that, or is it the kielbasa cheesesteak?
No, that
Have you heard that?
No. It's the scrapple cheesesteak. Al brought it up.
Yeah, I think it's
over at Dolan's.
Dolan's, yeah.
Oh, I gotta try that.
Yeah, he was talking about that. He's like, we got to get over there. I was like,
that sounds good.
I think he calls it. What's it? The
gritty.
The gritty.
Yeah, and then they have one somewhere. It's somewhere in the Northeast or something like that. Where pierogies you can get that corridor where it's all Polish food.
Yeah,
and they do. I forget what they call it, but they chop up kielbasa like you would a cheesesteak.
Yeah, there's a place. I don't know if this is the place you're talking about. There's a place called the Gall and Malt House.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, yeah, that place is tremendous.
No, I've never been there, but I would.
It's right on. It's on like 2nd Street Pike, like right before you get the Fox Chase.
Gotta
It's,
check
like,
it
right
out,
there.
man.
Yeah, well, listen, you guys got me hungry. I can't wait to eat and go to Woody's today, but I can't wait to have a good time. So.
Hungry doors won't fest. Isn't one in the same? Woody's and eating, isn't that one in the same? Okay. Isn't that one in the same?
Yeah, well, listen, they're tripping down.
Now you guys see what I have to deal with on a weekly basis.
I watch your show. I know what's going on.
This is what I have to deal with on a weekly basis.
Good Lord.
This is why Mike bathes himself in bath holy water every Sunday morning.
Listen, I go to church before I come here. I'm like, Lord,
I'm thinking about going to church now.
I'm like, Lord, you have to forgive me because you know I have to go deal with
You
that.
got to start filling Ziploc bags with holy water and just throwing it at them.
Like,
I'm about to do that.
8 o'clock church service.
7:30. 7:30.
Hey, you're talking to a couple Catholic boys. We can always get in touch with some priests that can,
What's up?
There's no help in that. If Pat walked into a church, you would hear a voice go, "Get out."
The walls would start melting.
Right? That's what I thought would happen when I went back, but it was actually quite randomly.
God.
But that's a whole other story in itself.
So, look, man, like I said, I want to thank all you guys for coming out here. Thank
My
you
pleasure,
for
man.
4 years of Deveroux Sports, looking to continue the
Congratulations.
fun ride.
Congrats,
Yeah,
fellas.
look, I
Congrats,
couldn't do with any of you guys, man. I really couldn't. I mean, you guys, the teamwork makes the dream work. So guys, I want to thank you so much. And look, and I want to thank the EOP sponsors, Red Boot now. I want to give these guys a shout because they're the ones paying the
Dolan's Bar.
Dolan's Bar. Go check these
Speaking
guys
of
out.
which,
Yeah, at 24 East of Sullivan Avenue, Riley Park, Pennsylvania, 19078. Give these guys a check out. So, look, for any of our new listeners who met over the week, man, if you're in the area, come check these guys out right here in Delco. Good spot.
Workers' compensation. Don't forget to go see our guy David Archeri for workers' compensation, motor vehicle accidents, personal injury, criminal law. You can reach him at 610-565-0300 for all your needs, man. Make sure you definitely give our guy David Archeri. Tell him that the family at EOP sent you over.
And of course,
the biggest bus trip. I will be a part of that next week along with Big Al. We are heading to DC. So, guys, make sure these are the trips that you want to take a look at here. Me personally, I am definitely looking forward to that New York trip. That looks like something I might want to be doing again. So make sure you give Philly Sports Trips a good look out there, man. And if you guys want to do just, they have all kinds of packages. It doesn't have to be just going to the games. They also have tailgate packages for home and away. And from what I'm hearing, the tailgate is second to none.
Off the hook.
So
you want to talk about food, like filet mignon steaks. I'm not even kidding.
Yeah, so I mean, we're looking forward to that. I mean, I'm looking forward to it, guys. Don't forget also check out our, our Eagles Game Day live crew. We have pregame, halftime, and postgame, along with our partners over at the Painted Lines. Make sure you guys check us out.
I mean, look, this is a 24/7 network now. It's absolutely nuts. I love it. I mean, Deveroux Sports, Passing FNX, Philly Press Box, man. You get everyone. Matty B, the Mayfair Monster. You get everybody under the same roof in the same network. You get, matter of fact, tonight for any lacrosse heads are out there, give those guys a check and listen to. At 9 o'clock tonight, we pretty much cover everything Philadelphia. And matter of fact, those guys are just out the NLL draft. So covering that.
Had a meeting with the commissioner.
Yeah, that's all. That's pretty dope.
no big deal.
Yeah.
I'm
waiting for our meeting with Goodell. So.
Where's your boss?
Keep waiting for that.
And like I said, we cover all four. We got guys who cover the Union with the Attack and Third with Austin and Alston. So, guys, things are booming here on this network. Guys, just keep an eye out for this great network.
Yeah, I mean, there's something to watch every day.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you guys, we got you all covered here at EOP. So with that being said, I think it's time for us to get out of here.
Yeah, guys, enjoy the rest of your weekend. And guys, we will not be on tomorrow morning. So I know if you guys check in, this is our today's anniversary show. But me and Mike will be back in the house next Sunday
No, I
morning.
will not. You will be flying solo or with somebody. I will be on my way to DC, buddy.
Oh, fine. I'll join.
I will be on my way to DC to go boo Carson Wentz.
I'll
There you
join
go.
some other man's company.
That's all right.
Michael check in from time to time.
Yeah, if you want, I mean, I'll check in from the bus. I can't say I won't be inebriated, but there's a great chance of that.
That would actually make for a really good show.
Let me assure you, Mike, that you will be inebriated.
Yeah, there's a real good chance of that. But I'm I'm looking forward to doing that. But yeah, you can definitely check out Pat and somebody next week.
Oh yes, I'll be here with some man.
Are you patting?
Huh?
What? Never mind.
Who uses pants around their ankles? But anyway, guys, have a good show and have the rest of the weekend.
Later.
See ya. Go Birds.